Are we live? Yes or no?
No, I mean, yeah, it's recording. We didn't start yet, but what? You want to say something?
All right, so
Start.
No, do the introduction first. Do
I
the
thought you
introduction.
got something planned.
No, I mean, hey, don't touch my Red Bull.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie audio experience with IFTV. As you can tell, Michael is not here, so we brought on our friend Peter again. Peter, the Inter fans loved you. They were so happy we got you on.
I love them.
There we go.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So it's going to be a good episode. We don't have Michael today. And I think this works out perfectly because of what happened. We're Serie A fans, of course. We've got the Mourinho lover and the Mourinho hater over here, right?
What are you talking about?
vice
I'm
versa.
Mourinho lover.
Yeah, Mourinho hater.
Thank God you didn't see him over here. Otherwise, me and Peter will be getting
we're
at
like
each
the
other.
complete opposites besides the hairstyle.
Yeah.
Everything else is like...
No, at least you don't have hair. I shave my hair. I have plenty of hair. I got plenty.
Oh, man. Dad, what's on your mind? What'd you think about the Serie A this weekend?
Oh man, I watched a little bit of the Inter game yesterday. No goals. Then I watched some of the Milan and Napoli game. No goals. Then I went into Fiorentina Spal. No goals. And then Lazio Roma. No goals. So it was. But I guess because now it's getting everything. The teams. We're getting to the end. There's about 6 games left, and the race is so tight everywhere that except the top, which we said it before. I told you a few weeks ago that it was over. So now, for the championship, it is over. It's probably going to be 10 points by the end of the season. But everywhere else, it's a nice games. Very, very. I guess they are a little bit afraid, the coaches, so they are a little bit more conservative. So that's why you're getting now a lot of 0-0 games.
5 out of the 10 games this weekend had 0-0 draws. Had draws.
This is to tell you that it's not easy to score in
Then
Serie A.
there was more. I know, but every other week, people look at that and they got mad. There were some people we posted that. And we posted like a video of this little Napoli kid dancing. I'll show you guys after. You'll laugh. And a lot of like some of the La Liga fans, they jumped in. They're like, look how terrible Serie A is. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, your league has been decided in how long? I mean, today we had PSG who won. We had Manchester City who won the league. Our league is still. I know you guys have said it's over. And today we saw what happened.
The last couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, you've been saying it for a long time that the Serie A is over.
I've been saying since Juventus caught up with Napoli. I said that psychologically, Napoli.
Once Juventus went on top of Napoli, and I said they're never gonna catch Juventus.
Your boy helped us out today. Your boy helped Juventus out big time.
Donnarumma, this is very sad. I mean, Donnarumma Napoletano is the one that put the final nail on the coffin for Napoli. And you know
think
what?
It was the final nail?
Oh, I know it is the final nail. What really struck me the most is when I saw at the end of the game him and
Insigne?
No, the goalkeeper of Napoli just giving himself a big hug, and they talked. They must have said something like it was Donnarumma last game on AC Milan against Napoli. That made me think. And then on the conference, I saw the interview with Gattuso. I think Donnarumma is gone. He's been shocked already.
You took this a different place than I thought. But
listen, I think it's a possibility with his agent, Mino Raiola. Anything is possible, and then especially Real Madrid's.
Yeah, but Peter, did you see the interview? Did you see the interview?
I did not see the interview.
On an interview with Gattuso, Gattuso said that as far as I'm concerned, Donnarumma is the AC Milan goalkeeper. I'm not sure about Reina. I mean, if Reina comes over here, he's welcome to come over here. But as far as I'm concerned, Donnarumma is still the goalkeeper of AC Milan.
What else is he supposed to say?
He's young and he still has 2 more years or 3 more years of contract and all that stuff. I think Gattuso is been asked to just downplay.
What else would he say besides that?
But this is, when I saw, listen to me,
there's nothing else he could say.
But listen, it was very telling. The way Donnarumma went to hug Reina, he's been saying to him, "Hey, good luck with the team." This is what I
I think you're reading way too much.
I think I'm reading way too much. Yeah. Listen, those signals they're very strong.
Didn't Reina have the medical or something?
Yeah, yes, but I don't think that means just because you think Donnarumma saying, "Yeah, good luck with my team" right now, right after the game. Why is he got to say that then?
Marco, this is 90% is all done. And when Gattuso said Donnarumma is still the goalkeeper, that made me 100% sure. That
what else could he say?
He's gone.
But what other words would he put together to make you think that he
He's
wasn't
been
there?
told to just keep the straight face in front of the camera because they want to get as much as they can from the selling.
This
of
is not the
TV.
right time to talk about.
But this is the reason why he
Donnarumma.
downplayed that.
But Mino, we were talking a little bit before about Mino Raiola and how they offered Pogba to Manchester United in January and all this stuff. So I do think, of course, anything is possible with Donnarumma. But what Donnarumma did say after the game, I don't know if you guys caught this. He's from Napoli, like you said. He put the nail in the coffin to Napoli. He was the Napoli fans were booing him during the match, and he said that he was very hurt by that. He was very hurt that the people of my town. He's like, I want them to win the Scudetto. I keep pushing for them. I want them to win every time. He goes, and they have to boo me for this.
Hey, I guess that's part of being a professional, unfortunately.
Now, Peter, what do you think of the shot that he saved? What do you think about that shot?
It was unbelievable.
But do you think it was luck or it's talent right there?
It was definitely talent. His size also helps. He's a big goalkeeper. He was able to reach all the way there because that ball was placed.
But also,
to me, the ball, the way it was struck just at the time, before even the guy touched the ball, he already went because he saw the direction of the foot.
Exactly.
When he saw the direction of the foot, that's a great goal.
Are you trying to? Oh, that's a great goal.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Technique-wise.
But also in the 90th minute, to keep the game alive, that takes a lot of composure too. And today was a big day. He was the youngest Serie A player to ever reach 100 appearances.
Yeah, I heard
Buffon did it at 21. He's done it at 19. Not just goalkeeper, player. First one. So listen, Gigio he's been doing this since he was 16 years old in the Serie A. He's getting experience.
Okay, are we still ready to move Buffon now out of the national team? Situation and put Donnarumma? Not because I'm an AC Milan fan. If Donnarumma was
he's going to be leaving.
Goalkeeper,
he's going to be leaving soon.
He's going to be leaving from AC Milan, but I want him to play on the Italian national team.
You're going to get it.
I'm going to get it.
Buffon is not going to play in the national team.
I hope you're right. What
game we want to go to first? What game we want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Juventus.
Samp?
Yeah.
Go straight to it?
Yeah.
Sampdoria has been a team that's been struggling for some time. The last time, this is funny, I just thought about it. The first leg of this one, we all hosted the party at Keste, where we were.
Right.
And a lot of people who showed up. Shout out to anyone who showed up for that game. And it was one of the most exciting matches of the season.
I was there.
You were there. Everybody was there. That's what I said.
Too.
You were there too? I don't remember, Peter.
Yeah, Peter and Mike were going crazy for Sampdoria.
I remember,
And Sampdoria at the Luigi Ferraris pulled off a 3-2 win.
Wow.
Today, like I said, they are not the same team that they were the match that we saw. I think Juventus, Allegri put in Douglas Costa 43rd minute, I think. In 30 minutes, he had 3 assists. Douglas Costa has been one of the best players for Juventus in a long time. They took out all that anger from the Madrid game. We saw the fans commemorated them. There's nothing to say about it.
Yeah, they didn't come out flat after the game. I mean, they were very motivated. That's what made, this is, I don't know if it's Allegri that is a good motivator. I think it's the fact that you're wearing a Juventus shirt, I think makes those players listen.
I agree with that.
Business is business. That's it. It's
once you come back from a big loss like they did with Real, the next game they are so hungry and so upset, and so they have so much hunger in them, and that's what makes Juventus different from any other team, like Lazio, Inter, Roma, up and down. These guys, when they do not miss a bit, and it's part of being like you said, it's not just the shirt, but
it's the DNA of the team.
It's also the organization that they have, the management that they have, the president. It's the whole organization. They're very organized, and they mean business all the time. It's always business for these guys.
Peter, what do you think is the shortcoming of Napoli? What do you think is the shortcoming?
I
of
want to
Napoli?
just make a comment about Juventus because
Yeah.
I have to agree with both of you. Juventus, they're a class act. Every time they get onto the pitch, all the players know what their job is. And it also comes down to the whole organization, because if you look in the past seasons, I think this has a major thing to do with it. Look at all the transfer market, the players that they get, Douglas Costa, Mandzukic, Khedira. These guys are all winners
makers, yeah.
and champions. They have a lot of appearances in the Champions League. So they know what it takes to come back after a Champions League game, and they know their duty on a team. Then when you add the likes of Buffon, Chiellini, Barzagli.
Even Howades, who came in 2 appearances, he's got a goal already. His first game back in how long?
Right.
But he's I think World Cup champion. He was the captain from Schalke in Germany, where he came from. And you're right. That's just the step up. Every year they have
exactly, and they have that experience factor that the other teams don't have. Look at Inter, look at Milan, look at the players that come in. These guys are not top players. Even as far as Rafinha is concerned, he doesn't have a lot of Champions League experience. He's a good quality player, but then besides that, Candreva.
Well, you named the Milan right now, Peter, but I got to tell you something. By watching the game today, I think this team here is becoming what I have seen on the past. This team here, with mentality-wise, is getting where they used to be.
Who?
Milan.
Oh.
I saw the way they play Napoli. There was a lot. There were there were almost no misses. 90% of the passes and the l'azione. They're starting from the very bottom. Donnarumma never put the ball on the tee and just made a big time kick.
He didn't just kick it up.
Goal kick. It was just Donnarumma to the left wing, right wing in front of him, never starting from the very bottom and just starting to build up the stuff. Very clean and very great game from the passing standpoint of view. Napoli, I was very, very surprised. Napoli has been, I think, a lot of teams, they figured them out already. They know the way they play and their style of play and what they do. They've been aggressive just playing man-to-man or just being aggressive on the portatore di palla. And Napoli is suffering that. Napoli, if you give them an inch, they'll take 2 inches.
Well, that's the thing. I think because you made 2 points. Milan, definitely. They look like they're finally gelling with Gattuso. And for the future, they could be a team to reckon with. Just that the whole thing is they're not made to win now.
No,
and so unfortunately, that's what they've proven to be. 7th place around there, and that's it. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna be able to make Champions League. Then in Napoli, I think your point was put to perfection. They only have one style of play, and one way to win. And then once you figure them out, they don't have the other option. With Juventus, you pick your poison really. They have so many different ways to win.
Do you think Napoli's got a problem with the bench?
I think so. I think there's something there.
So we all agree
because Sarri plays only 15 players.
So that's his fault.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they criticize him. And what do you think about Sarri staying and signing? To both of you, what do you think Sarri's going to do? He's going to stay or he's going to leave? To me, I think the guy's going to go because for staying, the guy will already sign the contract. Why is it taking him too long to sign the contract? De Laurentiis is saying we are available 24/7. I mean,
it's not the time to talk about the contract.
It's not the time to
No, it's not.
So what are you waiting for?
It's not. The Campionato is still on. They're 6 points away.
So
before this match, it was 4 points.
So if you win, you get signed. If you lose,
no one said that, but it's not the time to lose your focus.
100%
focus should be on this.
I'm telling you, the guy does not want to be there unless he's going to be given a full power to say, hey, every decision into the team, it's my decision. You guys stay up there, do your business as the management. I'm going to be deciding who's coming in, who's coming out, and which player I want and which player is going to be on the pitch.
Well,
He's been criticized a lot, this guy.
The contracts, they always, you talk about the end of the season. The time where you talk before the end of the season is sometimes to give a message to the team like Juventus, like Milan did. Hey, Gattuso is here to stay. So you guys, you better listen to Gattuso because next year he's going to be here. Sometimes if the players don't know the direction that the team is going and which coach is going to be there next year, at the end, especially if they're not playing for anything, they try to instead... You wanna play with us next year? Hey, you better perform because this is your coach for next year.
That's not the situation with Napoli.
Right, but most of the time you talk about the contract at the end of the year.
Yeah, but Gattuso already signed. Okay, this is to tell you that like you just reinforce what you just said, Gaetano. Gattuso signed, and that's a clear sign that the AC Milan has given to everybody around. They said, "Hey, I'm here to stay. and I'm the one calling the shot. Sarri didn't sign for some reasons. I'm sure there are few very big teams in Europe that they are they are dying to get the service.
I don't think
from
Sarri can leave Italy.
How do you know that?
I feel like he's the type of guy he has to stay inside and stay
don't
inside.
know
You think if this guy tries to go smoke in Chelsea's in Stamford Bridge, they're gonna kick him out?
Are you
What do you
kidding?
mean I can't have my espresso?
They already have
the
the Italian.
No,
history.
I know.
So, I mean-
But I feel like Sarri's such a small town kind of guy that he wants to stay. He's got his ways. Listen,
he's not going anywhere.
Listen,
He's not going
forget about
outside
that.
of Italy.
forget about it. I don't think it's important to talk about. What's important to talk about? Napoli, their last 6 games, they've only picked up 9 points. 2 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss. After the match, the journalist went up to him. He said this to him. He said, listen, I don't want to create any problems, but this is your latest 6 games. You only got 9 points. He said, we are in Real Madrid. We are in Manchester City. We're a team that with a lot of hard work, we've come a long way. I like that we are getting criticized when we don't pick up points. It shows how far we've come. And then he referenced a few years ago where Napoli was, saying if we would have gotten a tie against Milan, it would have been like, wow, Napoli got a tie against Milan. Now it's seen in, wow, they lost a Scudetto. So he was trying to give some perspective. We know that Saudi in the post-match comments sometimes this and that. I'm pretty disappointed, I got to admit, with a lot of Napoli fans out there. Because across the board, there's been a lot of giving up mentality. And to me, they get mad at the team. You're going to get mad at the team for giving up. You're giving up. You're already saying that the Campeonato's over.
Right.
They've been talking about this for 2 weeks that the Campeonato's over.
I agree.
I know you guys say Campeonato's over. But being a fan of a team, you want to show this confidence to the players. They were booing Insigne and they were booing, what's it called, before the game even ended when they pulled it around against Chievo Verona.
Listen,
I think it was Insigne.
the
Either way,
body
they need to believe a little
listen,
bit more.
the body language.
If they beat Juventus, they go to 3 points. Yes, it's going to be hard if. But, what are you going to do? You're going to give up now?
Listen, the body language.
I don't like that.
The body language of the coach and few players, Insigne included, those people are under so much pressure. So what happened to them? At the end of the game, I was watching a little bit what was going on. So Insigne must have said something to what's his name? He must have said something to get this other guy upset from
last week.
To Biglia, yeah. Then somehow Biglia got in some sort of a skirmish or talking with Sarri, and Sarri lost his mind somehow. And then they clarified himself. Normally, Sarri, being a very cool guy, it's not the type of person that just curses or does anything. So he downplays everything. But this is to tell you, the body language of Napoli sono tutti nervosi. They are too nervous. They know that the pressure got to them, and they cannot really handle the pressure that are under right now.
Maybe it's
because everybody's expecting them to win all the time, and maybe even the De Laurentiis family, they're not easy people to deal with. So if they're pressuring this coach here, and the coach cannot really take that kind of pressure, this is the reasons why I believe there is a very good chance that this guy here is going to leave from there.
Maybe it's a part of, maybe what Sadi said is true too. He's like, listen, we're a team that's not really that good, but we're straining so much, we put in so much work that we are competing for the Scudetto. And the achievement has been so high up. They dropped out of the Champions League and they dropped out of Europa League to compete just for the Scudetto. I think maybe what you're saying that, I don't want to say they're not built for the Scudetto, because that's not right to say that they're not built for the Scudetto. But maybe, like you said, the pressure has gone to them. These players, like Peter said, there's a lot of champions in this team that even when they play bad, and I know Napoli have gone through this route of playing bad but still getting the wins, but these last 6 games, like we said, 9 points, for a team that really wants a Scudetto, this is like the get-going point. We talked about this a lot, how Juventus in the beginning were playing bad, but they were getting their points, and we said, once it comes to April or May, you're going to see Juventus just racking in these points. They don't get nervous. They stay calm. They do their job, and they move on. So, I don't know.
Peter, I have a question for you. What do you think of Sarri subbing? What do you think about Sarri subbing the 2 best players, Insigne and Mertens? What do you think about that? I mean, those are different makers.
Yeah,
okay? At any time, they can change the game for you. So, what do you think about that?
I was actually going to say, I was surprised they took off Mertens because he's been saving them for a while, but I think the past 5 games he hasn't scored a goal. So with Milik, at least it gives him another option, because when you're not able to penetrate, what do you try to do? Cross.
Yeah.
So at least you have someone that's in the area and he can
Is
can
that
score.
the pressure on Sarri to say, hey, use those guys that you have on the bench?
But the thing is, I don't think he wanted to risk changing the formation. Like, he's changed the formation in the past where versus Chievo, for example, he knew he had to win that game. Every game they have to win. But the Chievo game, he had full control. Instead, the Milan game, on the counterattack, you don't want to risk losing that game because once you lose, then it's really over.
They were afraid of losing to me. Yeah,
exactly.
Right,
so he didn't want to change the formation. That's my perspective on it. And also maybe just to add a spark, Milik coming off the injury, he actually, ever since he's coming off the bench, I like the way he plays. He's hungry in the area, and it gives Napoli something different that usually they don't have.
Yeah,
that's a criticism that he's getting, though, Sadi, is why did you bring Milik only on in the 65th minute?
Right.
And everybody thinks they're the little coaches, that they got everything perfect, and they're criticizing Sadi. Sadi lost us to the Scudetto. Sadi lost us to this Scudetto. To me, Sadi's the reason that they're challenging for the Scudetto.
Sure.
I wouldn't be blaming Sadi.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not on that side.
Listen,
I don't agree with it.
As much as I'm a big AC Milan fan, on my heart, I still want Napoli to win, but it is what it is. As much as I hate Juventus, I just want it to die. But it is what it is. I'm dying for Napoli to win.
Sarri has been doing a very good job with what he has. I mean, he didn't have Milik for a long time, so he did not have that option that you said, which in the last game against, he changed the game. Milik with the long ball, he scored with the head, and that's how they came back. So it gives them another option, but he hasn't had that in the past. So he did the best with what he had. I mean, Mertens, he invented Mertens, his position to be the force mover where he comes back, and he's been scoring a lot of goals. So no, I think we should give a lot of credit to Sarri.
And I also think that after his press conference, it's obviously a shot to De Laurentiis because he doesn't get these big time players. In the summer, remember, they didn't buy anybody. They bought that guy from Brazil, I forget, Unas, right? And I haven't seen him play a handful of times. So I think it's definitely a shot to De Laurentiis not buying anybody, and even in January not buying anybody, knowing that if you're in the Scudetto race, you're gonna have to have some players
spend money.
You go for it because not for nothing this year, if Napoli doesn't win it, I don't see them winning it soon because
this is the closest they're gonna get in a
They were lucky
because
in one way they didn't lose anybody in the summer because usually you have a lot of players going, and I was really surprised that nobody left, which also could show that Sarri, even though everybody wants to say he doesn't have it in for his bench players, it's weird that the players were 100% in. They were in because there was some money that was being thrown around, and they could have easily left or tried different ambition because pretty much Serie A is Juventus territory, and they stayed.
That's a good perspective.
It's just hard right now because you see some of these games, it's like, how do you let it slip through? But Juventus is just that good.
They're like a machine. They're a well-oiled machine. Listen, Juventus played the best game of their season against Real Madrid without who everybody at the table would say is their best player, Paulo Dybala.
Yeah.
What other team not in the world, I won't say, but what other team in Serie A could play without their best player?
You want to know
the most important match
Marco,
of the season and still do what they did?
You want to know
many.
Something that I believe very strongly about why Juventus was trailing Napoli for a while?
Tell me.
It was because Quadrato was not on the team because of his injury. Quadrato, believe me, it's a world-class player.
I agree with you. But I don't think that's why they were trailing.
They were trailing because Quadrato was not there. The couple games that they tied, Quadrato is a big difference maker. Quadrato put the nail on the coffin for AC Milan, the way he scored. And AC Milan was just very close on the game with Juventus. Hey, that guy, I had a chance to drive him. I mean, your father drove him. Listen, I want to tell you something funny about Quadrato.
No, I didn't
know this. We've been saving this story. I told you guys they got great stories.
We went to watch the game Colombia against Brazil at the MetLife Stadium. And at the end of the game, the manager of the Colombia, they asked Gaetano if we could take Quadrato with us to the airport. So sure enough, Quadrato comes on the car with me, Gaetano, and Chato. You know Chato probably. Yeah, you do know him. He's the little guy, the little guy. You know him.
Whatever.
So anyway, Quadrato and Gaetano were on the front, and me and Chato were on the back. So I asked Quadrato, I said, can I ask you something? I said, first of all, I said,
This is gonna get bad.
do you think that that Juventus cheats on the game during the campionato?
Don't get him in trouble.
He said, of course.
Ah, come on.
He said,
Listen, this is the
they
best
always
part.
did.
This is the best
He
part.
said to me, they always did. They always did.
Listen.
Wait. I said, wait a moment. He said it's too true. He said to me, all right.
No, that was not the way.
He said, yeah. He didn't deny. He said yes.
The best part.
Wait,
Wait. The best part is that my dad told me this story. He didn't say anything about that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Your father's a Juventus fan.
Yeah, no. So then I ask Antonio, and he tells me this part. And then I put them two together, and I say, guys, what's the truth? And they're both fighting
Ask
over what's the
Chato. He's
truth.
going to tell you. Ask Chato. He's going to tell you. Wait, and the
I heard 9 different variations
the
of this.
funniest part was,
Paul.
Peter, the funniest part was at the end, almost we got to the airport, and he says, ragazzi, let's go to McDonald's. I said, what? I said, are you crazy? I said, if Montella knows that you want to go to McDonald's, don't worry. I said, we're not going to tell anything to
Because he was at
Montella.
Fiorentina at the time. Is
Yeah,
that
he wanted
part
to go to
true?
McDonald's. Yeah.
Yeah, that part is true.
What about the first part?
He changed it a little
They
bit.
changed it. They give me a break.
You asked them if Juventus gets preferential calls. And he looked at us and he kind of had a smirk on his face.
He said yes
And
all the time.
that's as much as he went. And not cheating. There was never anything about cheating and things like that. Anyway,
That's a very Antonio
go
question.
ahead, Marco.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on. I wanted to give Milan some credit before we jumped off. I was very impressed and a little bit surprised. I'm not gonna lie at the way Milan started the match. I looked at myself. I said, "Oh my God! I think maybe Milan might even pull off. They were gonna score a goal in the beginning.
No defense.
What happened?
No defense.
Exactly.
Technically, no defense.
That's true. You know, Bonucci and Romagnoli, the two best. Musacchio and Zapata. I can't remember a time that Zapata and Musacchio have ever played together, at least in this season.
They play on the preseason against the on the UEFA
Whatever,
League. Just
whatever.
trying to get in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But without your two best players in defense, I was very impressed with Milan. And I think it says a lot about the strength that Gattuso's using for this Milan to hold off one of the best teams in the Serie A. Those are proud. You should be proud of your team.
I am. Gattuso has impressed me. I was not a big Gattuso believer. I loved Gattuso the way he played when he played on AC Milan. But as a coach, I was never, put in a position to judge him. But right now, I mean, I have to take it back what I said about him. I don't think he had the experience. But he's showing me that this guy's got style. And he makes everybody just play.
Did you get a call from Gattuso this week?
No, but I'm expecting the phone call. He's got my number. So one of these days he's going to call me.
All right, let's move on to Peter's team, Inter.
Oh, boy.
It seems like between Inter. One second. Okay, it seems like between Inter, Lazio, and Milan, neither of them want the Champions League. Every time.
And Roma.
I mean, Roma. They're a little bit above for me. But what do you think about your team?
It's disappointing, to say the least. Because even though this game versus Atalanta is usually a tough game, it's the black horse of the games. Usually in Bergamo, Inter lose. So the tie, I was happy about it in one sense. But it's just, if you want Champions League, you have to win these two games versus Torino and versus Atalanta, especially if you have to versus Juventus coming up and Lazio the last day. I said Roma Lazio game after Champions League, after Europa League, both teams are probably gonna be tired, but also they're not gonna put all their cards on the table to win. They'll try to tie the game, or even out of luck somebody wins. But I think Inter right now, they're just plateauing. They haven't scored a goal in 3 games, and it's just upsetting. It really is. I think, I don't know, if they're going to be able to make Champions League, it's definitely going to be a long stretch, because Roma, Lazio right now are playing really well.
What was better for Inter, that Lazio and Roma tied, or if one of them won a game?
Well, I think if Lazio would have won, it would have been good, because then
They will catch you caught up a little bit more with
not even that catch. They have that game, the last game, it's in your hands, but you have to play in Olimpico, so it's not an easy game. And then also, we have bad memories, the last game
Yeah.
versus Lazio. The last time I think we
You know what? I think what the problem with Inter is, they're very streaky players right on top over there. You got Perisic over there. I mean, you're missing a shot. He should have been buried. The shot that hit the post, and then Icardi. Hey, come on! You're one of the best scorer on the Serie A. This is the reasons why Icardi is not going to make it into the national team, the Argentina national team. If he's going to make it, it's going to be bench.
More than
he's going to be on the bench.
You know that in the last 3 games, he has taken 1 shot a goal.
Come on.
Yeah.
1 shot in 3 games at the goal. So Icardi is struggling. I heard one of the interview, and Cambiasso was there, and they were talking about Icardi, and he tried to defend them a little bit, saying, "Oh yeah, he's gonna come through. He's good in the area." But the other ones, they said, he's very good inside the area, but then he can never go outside, come back
and create with his back behind the goal.
And build,
He doesn't.
and assist in the build up of the game.
and that's why he's out of the games a lot of times. He'll score the goal, but he'll have that 1 or 2 chances to actually score, and he's just he's not like that Higuain where he's able to come back, get the ball, and try to distribute. He's not that technical.
Well,
but in the box, I would
I would
say
one of the best in the box, definitely.
Inzaghi.
Yeah. But
Inzaghi.
listen, Peter. Isn't Spalletti a little bit at fault for this?
He hates Spalletti too.
Listen to
I don't know
this.
if you know.
You're supposed to be one of the best coaches in Serie A, right? Never smiles. He's very serious. And all the stuff that he comes out of, Spalletti. What is he doing? He's playing exactly the same system that he played in Roma. He's trying to bring it into the Inter play. You do not know how to build up. You do not know. You have to just rely on what's his name?
Icardi.
Perisic and Icardi.
Perisic, no, Rafinha. Rafinha is the luckiest thing that you guys.
Oh, definitely. It was a great pickup that way.
The last time something doesn't go 100% right.
Okay, to defend Inter, but who has a better squad, Roma or Inter?
To me, Roma.
And they're only 1 point ahead of us.
Well, wait a moment.
Oh, you're trying to say
wait a moment. With all the money that Inter spend, Roma didn't buy anybody. Who did they buy? Schick only. And Schick just started to play right now.
Yeah,
4
but
or
they
5
have
games.
a better squad. Would you say
What do you
better
mean a better
players? In
Roma has a better squad.
Wait a moment. Wait.
That's it.
If you start from the goalkeeper of Inter, you have 11 players that they play on the Nazionale of every world. Okay, so there is not a second choices that you guys are dealing with.
without a doubt. What I'm trying to say is, besides Juventus and Napoli, Inter's in the mix.
Yeah.
Maybe I understand your point. Maybe you're trying to say Spalletti, if you're a top coach, you give that extra 5 to 10 points.
Where is the flexibility of making an adjustment during the game? He doesn't have it.
But I think it reminds me more of Mancini's first year with Inter, where they tied a lot of games. Because I'm looking at, let's see, we lost 4 games.
Yeah.
Which is not bad. We just tie a lot.
But
of
you
games
guys won a lot of very close game in the very beginning of the season that you didn't deserve to win.
This is the context to why he's annoyed at Spalletti, because Michael and I gave Inter a lot of credit in the beginning of the season, and a lot of the credit we gave was because of Spalletti.
I'm not a Spalletti believer. I don't think it's.
To Michael and I, a lot of it was Spalletti getting that extra out of the players. We knew it was going to come to a point. We said, listen, Inter's not going to be performing like this. They went to what? January, close to January, December.
I gotta tell you something about Spalletti, and then prove me wrong.
Go.
Spalletti's fortune relies on 1 or 2 players that they're very, very good on the team that they play. In Roma, when Spalletti was playing, he had Salah. Salah was the guy that put everybody under pressure to the point that they attract 2 players to double him up, and they always free somebody. And Salah was one of the big assist delivery maker in Roma. So now Salah goes to Liverpool. Look how many goals he's scoring, because in the English Premier League they don't know how to play defense, or they don't play defense. Period. Now. This is what happened. Now Roma's lost Salah, and they gained the little kid over there, the Turkish kid, or under. Okay.
And Defrel.
And
Schick.
So, that's what I'm saying. Those are the players that they can make for you a big difference. Now, what is he getting? Look what happened with Spalletti. Who's he getting in Inter right now? He's relying on Perisic when he's in a good game, and he's relying on Riccardi when somebody just keep their eyes off. And when he's
Candreva's not good enough. A lot of these guys that they have are not good enough. If Icardi is the one who's always going to have to put the ball in the back of the net and the service has to be inside the area, you need creative guys around him too who, given, like you said, with Salah and Dzeko. How many assists did he have to Dzeko? Dzeko's not scoring as much because he doesn't have Salah. Dzeko's a great finisher. He doesn't have as much support as he did.
Peter, do you
Same
think
thing could be with Icardi? Same thing. If he doesn't have the support around him.
that is exactly the point? Peter, do you think that Roma without Salah will have scored all of those goals and Dzeko will have scored all of those goals?
No, because Salah, like you said, he takes away a certain player, but also his speed changes the whole outcome of the game. Because now, on a counter-attack, the ball goes one way and Dzeko's on the other side for a cross or vice versa. And then, it's just, I think it's harsh to say it's all Spalletti's fault. It's because at the end of the day, any top coach, why are they a top coach? Besides tactics and other stuff, it's because they have great players. Name
what makes you a top coach? The fact that you are high on the point on the standing.
I think it has more to do with how you keep the locker room.
To me, a top coach is Gasperini in Atalanta.
And then he couldn't do anything with Inter for the whole summer.
You know why? They didn't have smart enough player to read into his game. Everybody is putting on the field
so
right
then
now.
You didn't do a good job as a coach. You didn't do a good job as a coach.
Gasperini is the one that invented the 3-5-2 and the 3-4-3. He's the one. And 3-3-4.
Yes.
What else did he invent?
Okay, Gasperini to me is one of the best coach.
But then the communication factor.
Get it in Milan. Get rid of Gattuso. And
Oh,
get
no way.
Gasperini.
No way. Gattuso, I think
He's one of the best coaches.
Gattuso is
Anyway.
implementing to me a mix between Sacchi and Gasperini.
And Mourinho.
No, Mourinho is not a coach for me.
Okay, a little bit of more context on the situation at Inter. Like you said, they went 3 consecutive games without scoring a goal. First time since 2012. They didn't score in Bergamo, which is the first time since 1994 that they went to Bergamo and did not score a goal. They only have 2 wins in their last 6 games. So like you said, a lot of draws, only 4 losses in this season. Is it good enough for a Champions League spot? That's what everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know is who's going to get that Champions League spot. Is Inter going to be able to
hold it?
Everything that's going wrong, right? You hear people, we didn't even comment on Borja Valero, which everyone was going mad about.
They're lucky. Inter, they're lucky, believe me.
Do you guys think that the 4th Champions League spot, is Inter going to be there?
Well, I think Roma is going to get 1 spot.
And
so there's one spot left between Lazio and Inter. And
I would be Milan too.
Milan is a long shot.
Let me tell you something. Inter is going to slip up. Either Inter and Lazio, they're going to slip up.
And Milan's going to go to 4th?
But either, not both of them.
Listen, Milan, if Milan won, if we won the derby against Inter, and if we won today against Napoli, we will be at a striking distance.
And what did Gattuso say? If my...
Oh, yeah. He said if... wait, what was it exactly? I don't remember. Did he say my aunt? If my aunt had balls, she would be a pinball machine.
Yeah.
So you're doing the if game. If they didn't give a penalty, Juventus would be in the semifinals, right?
Listen. All right.
Between Lazio and Inter... I was going to say Lazio at one point, but after what I saw in that
the champion
against Salzburg, they're so up and down. They play some nice soccer. They build up nice, all one touch. They have some nice players, Lazio, and then they disappoint you. So. I think we have the 3 teams. It's going to be a toss-up between Lazio and Inter.
What do you think, Peter? As an Inter fan?
As an Inter
How do you feel about the Champions League?
You hope that you get the Champions League. I'm looking just a little bit at the fixtures. Lazio's got some tough games ahead. They have to versus Fiorentina in Florence. Then the Sampdoria. Spal.
Who does Milan has? Because I wanted to see if we have a chance to catch up with Inter mistakes or Lazio mistakes. Because we only need 1 or 2 games for them to tie and AC Milan to win.
No, you would need 3. You're 7 points.
It's all right, but then you take it to the last game, and then the pressure builds up
There's Inter Juventus.
Yeah, but you know what?
Boy.
Yeah.
Well, Inter Lazio at the death.
It's Inter Cagliari, Inter Juventus, Inter Chievo Inter rather. And
I think Milan still has a small chance. Let's say 10% or 20%.
These games are always hard too.
But you know what?
We could look. That's what I'm saying. I don't even.
I'm just looking based on, who Lazio has to verse. I think it's going to come down to the end. It's going to come
the
down to
last-
the Inter
last game?
Lazio. Lazio Inter rather. Whoever wins takes all, and that's how it is. The same way Napoli, right? Higuain missed the penalty, and Roma took the Champions League spot away. Same thing. It's do or die last day, and I think it's gonna be decided then. I think Inter has a shot if it goes
definitely.
if it comes down to that one game.
Yeah.
And that will be all Spalletti achievement. We made it to the Champions League and all this
You know what? I think it's good for Serie A. It's good for Serie A because we need Inter and Milan to be back in.
Definitely.
I like that.
And Champions League brings money, you know. So maybe
Yeah.
we get some top players to come along.
Before we get into talking about Champions League and who Roma drew, and then you guys fight out over Mourinho because I'm going to ask you guys a question, I want to give some credit to some of the teams that we don't often talk about. Spal, they got a 0-0 with Fiorentina, ending one of the best streaks for Fiorentina in a very long time. Spal are on a 7-game unbeaten run at the moment. And for a team who's in the relegation battle, this could be a huge moment for Spal, who are showing a lot of fight, a lot of hunger. Also, Diabate, who's from Benevento. This guy, today, Benevento drew 2-2 to Sassuolo. This guy, Diabate, in his last 3 games, he scored 3 braces. He scored 2 against Juventus, 2 against Sassuolo, and the other 2 I can't think of right now. But he's got 7 goals this season. And I'm going to compare it to some of the players that we always talk about, right? 7 goals Diabate, 7 goals Insigne has. Cutrone has 7 goals. Papu Gomez has 5 goals. Perotti has 5. Mandzukic has 4. Chiesa has 6. So this guy Diabate, all of a sudden, his first goal came in February 18th. All of a sudden, he went crazy. We posted about him. His freaking agent messaged us thanking us on Instagram. I mean, this guy, all of a sudden...
Beautiful goals, too.
Yeah, beautiful goals. And against Juventus, he scored 2 goals. This guy, Serie B doesn't know what they're going to get into with this guy. He's really trying to stay up in Serie A. So I think it's always nice to give a little bit of credit to the teams that we don't talk about.
Very good. Good job.
Yeah, what else? I think those were most of the talking points. Yeah, all right. Champions League draw. Guys,
I love it.
We got Roma, Liverpool.
I love it.
There's a lot of mixed reactions on this one, but to me, it's very clear. You're in the semifinals of the Champions League. You are never going to get a good draw, but if you're going to get the best draw possible, to me, it's getting Liverpool.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's like a final. This is a final.
That doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter who you get. They're all the same. You just need to perform again like you did against Real Madrid. Real Madrid, Barcelona. Barcelona was on one of the top teams, you know, with the best player in the world, and they came through. So to me, it doesn't matter. And when
Come on, it's better than getting Real Madrid.
When you get to this point, Real Madrid was losing 3-0 to Juventus.
Hey, don't forget that Real Madrid has been beaten up by Barcelona several times. So if anything, if Real Madrid will be drawn with Roma will have a better chance to make.
Let's go.
I think
Liverpool
Roma is tougher than Real Madrid.
I think when we get to this point, and I hear it from a lot, that you have to go for the Italians and all those. If your team, if you're for Serie A, if you're rooting for Serie A, no matter what team you have for Serie A, you're in the Champions League. You need to go for Roma. Roma, no matter what your team is.
No, I 100%. We over here, we all know everybody likes a different team, and for us, it's Roma. It's like. It's sad, but it's like the closest thing we're going to get to a World Cup at this point is a competitive match.
Italy against England, that's all.
Honestly, so I think that for me, this is a match where I know one of my friends, Max, they know him. He's a Liverpool fan, Real Madrid and Liverpool fan. I'll just say that right away.
Why?
I don't know. He's not there yet.
Okay.
He hasn't gotten to our levels yet. But anyway, he thinks that this is the worst possible draw for Roma. He says that Roma, number one, are going to underestimate Liverpool. He thinks that Liverpool is a harder team to beat than Barcelona. And he says that Liverpool's attack is going to dismantle Roma's defense. But he did say that Liverpool's defense is very weak. And to me, at this point, Roma, once you beat a team like Barcelona, you're going to have that belief that you could do anything. So as hard as it might seem to beat Liverpool, they're not going to give up. To me, and also having the return leg at Roma, just like they did against Barcelona, I think is going to be a huge key factor to this. And I hope Manolas, Juan Jesus, Fazio, Florenzi, Kolarov. They know Salah. They know that Salah, when he actually plays against... When Salah was in Italy, let's be honest, he wasn't Salah like we're talking about now. He was a very good player. He got a lot of assists. But he's not #1 player in the world scoring 30, 40 goals. Because in Italy, we know how to defend a little bit. Salah was very predictable. Every time he got something around him, he just ran straight. The Italian defenders, he was faster, but they outsmarted him. So I hope that they understand. They know Salah. They work with Salah for many years. So I hope that's going to be a key factor in this one.
I mean, the only thing is Salah this year has been on a tear. He's up there with Messi and Ronaldo as far as goals scored in the season. I think he has 1 goal less than Ronaldo. So, I mean, going back on, is it a good draw for Roma? I would say
yes.
I would say yes, but Salah's been on the level of Ronaldo, of Messi. So this is a guy that can score at any given moment. And it also, in soccer, it has a lot to do with how you feel at the moment.
Yes.
So Liverpool right now is feeling good. They beat Manchester City. But
that could be a bad thing too.
But then again, Roma feels pretty damn good, I think, beating Barcelona 3-0. I think when it comes to Roma matching up with Liverpool, the midfield physically, Roma, that's one of Roma's strong point with Strootman and De Rossi in the midfield and Nainggolan. These guys could play with anybody and physically can run the show. Dzeko, we all know what Dzeko can do. The only thing that scares me, of course, is Liverpool's attack and counter-attack because they're fast. Besides just Salah, you have to look at Mane. This guy, he's not the best of players, without a doubt, but they move the ball quickly and they're able to counterattack. So I think Roma just have to make sure that they do not they don't pull another first leg versus Barcelona.
Is the first leg in Roma or no?
Liverpool?
Or in Liverpool,
which is good. It's better like that. But I mean, to me, listen, they already went against one of the best attacks, which was Barcelona. And again, it's good that Roma are being written off. Everyone's writing off Roma. Everyone's saying how Liverpool's going to walk all over them. It's the best thing. Just like no one thought that Roma could do anything against Barcelona. Roma held at home 3-0, 0 to the best player in the world, Messi, 0 to Suarez, another best player, to Dembele, 180 million, one of the best young. Listen, Roma, when they want to play, if Roma play the way they played against Barcelona, they can beat anyone.
Right.
Over 2 legs.
But that's not easy to do because today I was disappointed with Roma, the way they played. They were just too slow. I mean, to build up the play, the passes have to be much faster. You got to be quicker. You cannot just go up and pass the ball and
the
to
last
the side.
didn't allow them.
If you want to play against now Liverpool, you have to pay. The ball has to move a little bit faster.
Di Francesco said that they asked him why he thinks they struggled a little bit today versus against Barcelona, and he said that the long ball. You heard, right. He said that he thinks that when teams play the long ball against Roma, that they struggle a little bit. And he said Lazio was playing, the ball over.
Do you think that he said that on purpose?
Maybe. That's funny. Listen, to me, I would not even fault Roma if they lost the rest of their games because what they did against Barcelona was incredible. Being in the semifinals is the ultimate for Roma. One of the only times that they've done this in their history. I think 2 or 3 times they've done it. So I think Roma has every reason to believe. And
there was a Roma-Liverpool final in the 80s, mid-80s, if I'm not mistaken. Liedem was the coach.
I think you guys told us last time.
Yeah, I remember the game. And Liverpool has always been a team, even 25 years ago, where they put the ball on the ground and they pass it, boom, boom. It's not like a typical English team which sends you the long ball.
Especially with Klopp right now. Klopp to me is one of the best coach. I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, they went on penalties.
He's one of the best coaches.
Yeah, I just look at 1984.
1984.
Liverpool won on penalties 4-2.
Because 1983 they won the championship, Roma. So I think it was 1984, and they lost on penalties.
Peter, who would you put on Salah for Roma? How would you address Salah's problem?
I mean, the problem, you can't just put somebody on him because he goes from left to right.
Everybody plays zone.
Exactly. Right now you can't mark him. You just have to hope, you have Florenzi on one side for sure, and you have to keep Kolarov. Even though he's not the fastest of players, he can give you the best service in the box.
But don't you think so, the two midfielders, De Rossi and Strootman, they might just double him up and just break him a little bit, break his fluidity?
For sure. That's the physicality part of
Right.
Roma's midfield. They're going to make sure that he feels...
The three of them, Nainggolan, De Rossi, and one of the three of them, they're going to switch on him, and then they're going to make him. They're going to make his job a little harder than that.
Yeah, I mean, whoever is closest to him, you just have to. Yeah, you got to pick him up.
Guys, let's give a quick second because we didn't, and a lot of people were commenting about the Lazio game, what they did in Europe this week. Michael and I didn't comment on it. Let's just brief. Very disappointing with Lazio. I mean, they caved within, I think it was 4 minutes that they conceded 3 goals. Parolo, after the match, said that when we went up 1-0, meaning 5-2 on aggregate, he said that we got arrogant and we thought that the game was over. And a lot of times they say when you score, you're most vulnerable, and that proved to be it. Disappointed in Lazio. They really had a chance to go through. What do you guys think? A little bit thoughts?
Well, I didn't see the game, but I cannot picture how can you get 3 goals in 4 minutes. I mean, it's impossible to get 3 goals in 4 minutes.
A couple of deflections.
I mean, if you
3
get
goals,
the
4
ball
minutes.
and you score the first goal, but just kick the ball out of the place and for a couple of minutes, hold the ball, go to the corner, do something.
Throw the ball out, do something. Stop the
like I
fluidity.
said, I didn't see the game, so I'm not good.
On basketball, they call
to
timeout.
comment
just do
on
something,
the game.
I guess, just to break the fluidity of the game of the opponent.
People were very upset because Inzaghi made a few substitutions where he took out Milinkovic-Savic, which is obviously, you guys know, one of the best players for Lazio. A lot of people questioning Simone Inzaghi as a coach based off this tie. We already knew that before this. To me, Lazio, they always have that defending problem. We know that they have this defending problem. They score a lot of goals. They score so many goals, it's insane. But that defending problem has always been there. I don't know if I would take it as Simone Inzaghi not being good, but also Simone Inzaghi is not the most experienced of coaches. These are some of those games that every coach in the world has gone through, those ones where how the hell did that happen, And it's a learning moment. And if he wants to be a top coach, I think that he's just going to have to take what happened there and move on. What do you think, Peter?
I mean, I think you said it perfectly. He doesn't have the most experience, so maybe he did make a couple mistakes in his subs, but you don't expect a team to score 3 goals in 4 minutes.
It was back.
And it was just, exactly, it was just one of those times when the team blacked out and they didn't have someone or a leader to really shake them up and say, hey, listen, let's compose and just play our game a little bit. But the whole thing of their style of play isn't one that's able to hold a lead. They're one of the teams that they gotta keep on going. Let's score, let's score, because that's how they. That's
of getting scored against, and
I think they're very used to being scored against.
yeah, listen, Lazio. I mean, I saw the conference stampa of Inzaghi after the game, and he didn't look very upset to me. I mean, I don't know if
he might have been in shock.
Perplexed. Yeah, it was.
It was almost kind of a relief. It says, okay, at least we had this one year. Now let's concentrate on the Campionato. I'm not sure. I know it must be hurting, but the face that I saw him, it was not really. Like a broken down.
I saw that too, and I noticed it, but I think he might have just been in shock.
Yeah.
Like how it didn't even hit me that we're out of the game just because they were so far ahead. And the thing that we kept saying, we said on the show when we did the Champions League, we said, listen, if there was any point from this week with Juventus and Roma, it's that nothing is over. It was the week of comebacks, and Red Bull, Salzburg.
It was a crazy week.
Yeah, they should have learned from
that it's
Juventus
not over.
And Roma.
So, last thing I want to say, or if anybody else has a topic that they want to bring up, Manchester City won the title today. Your boy Mourinho, Antonio, he's the reason why Manchester City won it. Wow. They lost to West Brom 1-0, which gave Manchester City last place team. That gave Manchester City the win.
Last place, West Brom.
Why do I feel like Guardiola? Why do I feel like Mourinho did this one thing just so that it could hurt Man City a little bit? Like they're not even allowed to celebrate when they win. They have to do it on Mourinho's terms.
I think Mourinho. I don't know control about this. I mean, he's to me. I mean, as far as the Inter fan, they think he's the greatest guy because of the triplete. I mean, hey. He didn't score any. He never played. He never scored. You know, this guy takes too much credit. A lot of people, they give him too many credits. Okay, this is a guy that he has not shown a new style of playing. He didn't invent anything. He does pick up some of the best players, and sometimes he gets lucky and they play for him, and he builds up some sort of a chemistry. But when the chemistry with some of those best players comes, you know, breaks away from them, he breaks best players and champions, he breaks them apart. Now this is the last one. He did it with Shevchenko again. I'm going to repeat it one more time. He did it with Kaká. He did it with Shevchenko, and now he's going to do it with Pogba. This guy is going to ruin Pogba. If he stays one more year at mercy of Mourinho in Manchester United, he's going to be a Pogba, but you're never going to be able to recognize him.
Peter, eat him.
Come on. I mean, first off, hearing it from a Milan fan, that's the reason why Mourinho not playing before, you know, he doesn't have any experience as far as that. Technically, your best coach, right? Saki, he never played before. And he has a famous saying, I didn't know a jockey has to be a horse or something like that. You know, it had to be a horse to be good. So, I mean, you don't discredit him for that. With Porto, when he first came, he won a Champions League when nobody thought. Okay, you want to say that he's not the best tactician, he's not the best fluidity of the game. Yes, he's the defensive-minded coach, but he's able to motivate his players. He makes sure that locker room stays compact. Also, I don't want to, you know, you said Kaká, Shevchenko, maybe these guys were at the tail end of their careers.
Oh, no.
Compared to Pogba right now.
No, you're wrong about that, Peter. Let me tell you what happened today. I played on Oceanside, okay? I thought that the coach was Polish. I said, hey, by the way, how do you like Lewandowski?
Was it Mourinho the coach?
No way. the guy, I thought it was Polish because the way he was talking. I said, no, I'm Antonio, I'm Ukraine, from Ukraine. Oh, I said, Shevchenko is one of my favorite players. I'm dying to meet him. I said, he's a personal friend of mine, the guy said. Oh, I said to myself, I said, and every time that he comes to New York, and I told him about Gaetano. I said, hey, every time Milan or Roma they comes, my friend Gaetano is the one that, from time to time he's been asked to show them around and to organize everything for them. So he said the next time that Shevchenko comes around, because it's the third game that he's been reffing with us, he says, I'm going to see if I can arrange you to meet him personally. I said, oh, shook. I said, I'll do anything. I will quit my job. So anyway,
you got to get him on the podcast when you meet him.
What I did, I asked him, I said, tell me the truth. I said, do you guys got into any discussion why Shevchenko wound up under Mourinho as soon as he was still the top player in Europe? The year that Shevchenko left AC Milan, he won the Scarpa d'Oro and the Pallone d'Oro for AC Milan. He goes to Chelsea. He says, why did he leave AC Milan? He says his wife was one of the problems. And he felt more comfortable because Abramovich, he made him a good offer. And he said, don't worry, come over here. I'll make everything possible for you. So what happened, he said, once he's starting to be slightly unhappy the way Mourinho was using him on the pitch, he went to talk to Abramovich, and that what stopped his career from going over. He was benched by Mourinho, and Mourinho, he was the guy that ruined his career.
But as a coach, you have to make sure that no one is above the coach and no one is above the team. So the fact that, I mean, this is all speculation. This is all based off of that. But I mean, it's not a speculation. It's not a speculation. Okay, but I'm saying Mourinho's style is the whole group mentality. He's a psychologist more than anything else. He knows how to motivate and keep the guys together. He distracts people. He'll take the spotlight. I think it's also a bit of an act. Trust me.
Right.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's saying. Because what happens is, instead of talking about, one of the players, talk about Mourinho. It's the special one and stuff like that. So I think it also has to do with maybe how players in the locker room, if someone is above, it's not good for the rest of the players. And listen, I'm sure, like every other coach, he has his preferences.
Hey,
and wants to, look who's here.
Mike.
But listen,
we're letting them fight over Mourinho.
Listen now, Peter.
What's up?
All right,
Peter,
keep going,
now
keep
wait.
going.
Okay, this is my understanding is Buffon is a leader on the locker room. Okay, and when Buffon has something to say, Allegri allows him to say something. Now, what is the difference between Buffon and Shevchenko? Shevchenko is not a leader in the locker room. Maybe because he's just a newcomer, and Mourinho doesn't want him to say what he has to say.
You're talking about Juventus.
It's different
you're
style.
talking about Buffon, who's Juventus, and Shevchenko, who went to Chelsea the first year.
As a pallone d'oro, as one of the best players in Europe
Yeah,
and the
but
world.
it's
Listen, not everybody's like
Not
everybody's like Milan that would just give out the captain's armband to Bonucci.
Not every coach does the same tactics. Every coach is different, interpersonal. There's coaches that they don't speak to the players, and there's coaches that they have a whole different mentality. So you can't say, oh, how come one person does one thing, one person does the other thing. Everything in the locker room is sacred, and everything, depending on the relationship between the coach and the players, there's a thing. It's like being a parent, right? There's people that parent one way, and there's no, they have different styles, but there's not only one way.
But if you're the owner of a team, Peter, and you're spending tremendous amount of money to bring the best player of the world to play for you, and then that best player went up sitting on the bench, you telling me that is something wrong over there, or something? Everything is okay?
Listen,
not everything's just on the coach or the. I mean,
And he
maybe
did
something Shevchenko did too.
Kaká was not at the end of the career too. You brought these things up.
27.
Kaká was not at the end of his career when he left AC Milan to go to Real Madrid.
No, without a doubt, because they spent big money, so he was definitely relevant.
Yeah.
But he also got injured, and there's a bunch of other stuff.
I don't know. I think this guy here is too much full of himself to the point that does not allow anybody.
How some players flourish under him?
Who did flourish?
Schneider.
Milito.
Okay.
Milito definitely did. He revamped pretty much all of Inter's team. Stankovic, that guy was supposed to be out, believe it or not, because there was rumors he was supposed to go to Juventus the year that Mourinho got. He didn't want him, and then ended up being one of the top players for him. So I mean, even in the Chelsea, a lot of these players that come out of nowhere. Hazard was unbelievable under him the first year. His problem is his mentality, his way of coaching is not a coach that you can last for a long time. He's got to be in and out.
You know what the best thing about Mourinho is? The press conference.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because he's funny.
That's it.
He says shit.
And he wins.
Gattuso's funny
He
too.
doesn't win.
What did he win? What did he win in terms of what did he did in the last 5 or 6 years? What did he win?
He won at Real Madrid. He won at Chelsea.
What did he win?
He won Porto. He won Inter.
Not after all the money that he went from team to team to team to team to team. This guy here is being given.
So what about Guardiola?
Yeah, I was just thinking that too in my head.
Guardiola, I gotta tell you something. At least Guardiola implemented a way of playing, a style of play in Barcelona. He brought into Manchester City.
But at Bayern, he didn't win the Champions League.
A lot of people are copying Guardiola. Can you tell me what is the style of Mourinho? What is the formation of Mourinho? The typical formation of Mourinho. The way he puts the team on the field.
With the Inter, he had the 4-3-1-2.
Okay.
4-3-3, 4-3-1-2. That's his style. But yes, he plays more of a defensive, and he breaks on the counter attack.
He relies on quality players, on 1 or 2 quality players to do the job.
But that's everyone.
Not Gasperini, right?
Not Gasperini.
Not Gattuso. Where does he want?
Not Gattuso, right? So you think Gattuso and Gasperini are better than Mourinho?
To me?
Yes,
to
you, to Antonio. To Antonio.
Come on.
They have nothing to be ashamed of, and they have nothing to be to learn from Mourinho. They cannot learn anything from Mourinho.
Oh.
They're not copying Mourinho. If anything, they copying other coaches like Sacchi.
But what about Sacchi? He had great players.
Yeah, but Sacchi,
if it wasn't for the Dutch boys, it would.
Wait. The way Sacchi put the team on the field, this was AC Milan. AC Milan was midfield and attack, midfield and defense. It was just one unit up and down. There was no space between the forward and the defense. It was just one unit. And they didn't struggle. They always attacked the ball, pressing and offside.
Hey, Mike.
They had top players, but
with the top players, if you don't know how to place them on the field and how to make them play.
Well, there's Mourinho right there. You want to say whatever, but
with
his players, he wins.
I don't know.
We had top players and he wins. Same result. Different way of achieving it, but same result.
Listen. I want to bring up.
What counts? Winning or the style of play?
Both.
Sarri has a great style of play.
Yeah.
Is Napoli winning?
Wait. Last week, not last week, for the Champions League, Antonio brought up a question. He brought up 2 questions. Antonio, when we posted this on social media, everyone was amazed by the question. So I'm going to ask you, Peter. Antonio said, do you think that Roma and Juventus were, and correct me if I'm wrong, were inspired by the way that Gattuso's been playing with Milan to make the comeback? And Cassano being in the stands and going to Trigoria. Do you think that inspired Roma for the comeback?
Not at all. Not at all. Gattuso inspired him. What did he say?
Cassano.
Let me tell you something.
I think Ranieri.
Cassano. Cassano.
Oh my God.
Cassano. He's one of the great worst.
Hold on.
The last few
Can
weeks.
I say something?
Yeah.
What have you been drinking? Is it what
I
you
don't
have?
drink, only
Is
coffee.
it the
You
Red?
guys drink, I
Is
don't
it Red
drink.
Bulls or is it what do you have something
Red
there?
Bull.
He's got some Lambrusco.
Cassano. Totti does not sit around with losers. For Totti to bring
my
Cassano
God.
to sit next to him and to bring him to Trigoria, Cassano, he's got big soccer balls. Okay? Cassano's got big soccer balls. So, listen to me.
Oh my God.
The coach of Roma values the opinion of those top players.
Like Cassano.
Cassano too. Cassano was brought in by Trigoria, again by Totti, and they went to talk to the player. I never said, did I ever say that Roma was finished after the 4-1?
No, you didn't. You
Okay.
didn't.
So what does that tell you? What does that tell you?
My
You
dad walked up.
guys, when the Roma and Barcelona were drawn or for the quarterfinal.
You said the same thing. You said the same thing.
Bologna. I never said that. I said Roma's got 40% chance at least to win to go through.
Oh my God. This is.
But I still don't see how Gattuso gets involved in all this.
Gattuso is a big motivator. Montella is a great coach, but Gattuso is a big motivator. Gattuso can take an average player and make him a great player.
But Gattuso, a few months ago, you were saying that he's not the right coach
I
for
didn't
Milan.
know how good it was. I never said Gattuso. I respect Gattuso the way he played
So
for
how
AC
does
Milan.
that influence the Roma players and the Juventus players? What is the influence there?
It is an influence. They're looking
Because
at
they're
it.
looking at Gattuso?
Yeah, they're looking at the way the way AC Milan plays, the way they stepped up their style of playing and their aggressivity and everything else. Yeah, you keep laughing. Don't worry. you keep laughing. You know why? Because you got that loser of Allegri. That stupid loser of Allegri.
The loser of Allegri that's
Allegri and Buffon, they gave up on Juventus until Roma won. If it wasn't for Roma's winning, Allegri would have already pulled everybody out and put the Primavera inside to go to play in Madrid.
Antonio,
Okay.
even after Juventus lost, I told you never failed to make me laugh. You never fail.
Good.
You do a really good
You're
job.
not crying. I'd rather you see laughing.
Tears
than
of
crying.
joy. Tears of joy.
That was good. Oh man, you had some people in the comments that were agreeing with you. There's some people from Body that they liked your Cassano point, and
I
then
think that's the only... Anybody from Body.
Okay,
Cassano's the
name me-
god. I mean, Cassano's the god.
Name me name me 3 or 4 midfielders. Besides, listen to me. Name me 3 or 4 midfielders forward, because Cassano can do both. That they're better than Cassano. Besides the greatest player, Del Piero and Baggio and
Totti.
Totti and all the stuff. Just give me 3 or 4 of those players. And let me remind you one more thing. Totti said, and I didn't say it, Cassano, when he was playing with Roma, even when he was playing for AC Milan, was one of the top 3 midfielders. None of Europe, of the world. This said by Totti. You can just go blog it.
the eighth
No,
one.
but with the computer, go look at it, look up.
Without a doubt, he was a top quality
my
player.
God.
Yeah.
But he's never made a career out of it because his head isn't in the right place. Same thing with Balotelli.
Oh my
Balotelli, as far
How long did he last at Real Madrid?
Yeah. And
What do you mean how long did he last at Real Madrid?
couple
Because
years.
of stupid people.
Capello.
Stupid people.
Capello was his coach.
Yes. Stupid people.
Capello.
They value, like stupid Mourinho, they value more attitude than talent. This is the reason why.
So what about Capello?
Pogba's got talent, but since Mourinho is the coach, talent doesn't mean anything for soccer anymore.
Capello
You
was
get to
with
sit on the
Roma.
bench. You get to sit on the bench because you got Mourinho, somebody that never played soccer all his life.
Same as
He played
Sacchi.
soccer.
What about
He
Sacchi?
played soccer on the calcio balilla, on the billiardino, Mourinho. That's the only way that he played soccer, that guy. Cassano and Balotelli, they got balls.
Yeah.
And that's reasons why. And they
Maybe
got a
that's
big
why.
mouth.
They're too
And
heavy.
the only problem
lose
a
some
big
blood.
mouth can ruin player like that, because they're not yes man.
Holy.
They're not
Yes,
the
you
type
have to
of
be
yes
able to
man.
deal with
Listen,
things.
you are right. Let's conclude this with what Lippi said. It was Lippi's 70th birthday this week. And what Lippi said, not what he said now, what he said in the past. And we put it out. He said football is like a mosaic. He said the job of a coach is to put the best pieces together. He said sometimes the best pieces don't mean the best players. He said when I went in 2006, he said, I'm sure there was a lot of players who were better than the ones that I called up that I had to leave home. He goes, but I knew that I was choosing the best players to create a team. He said, football's like a mosaic. That's how you need to win.
That's a very good
It's
point.
true. That's true.
Oh, man.
Very good point.
Wow.
No, what Lippi says. And whenever you guys want to laugh, come back. And
Don't forget to read the podcast, okay, guys? To rate, right?
Rate the podcast.
Right.
All right, guys. Yeah, as always, thank you for watching, Peter. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You and Antonio together are...
I want Peter to join us all the time. We're going to put another chair over there.
Mike, he's kicking you out.
No, keep him away from me because
We're going to put him right here next
he's a
time.
Mourinho guy, this guy here. I don't like Mourinho's fans.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Ciao, ragazzi. Oh, my God. That was the funniest. That was the funniest episode.
Where were you?
Marcello, grazie per essere stato ospite della Giostra del Gol, grazie a te e ai tuoi amici
Grazie a
del
tutti.
Milan Club.
Grazie a voi per il collegamento e speriamo la prossima stagione vi vediamo meglio in alta definizione.